Okay, hello everybody, welcome to this video where I'm going to take you through chapter 1 of IGCSE Economics, and I'm just going to talk about the nature of the economic problem, And so basically what we want to cover in this chapter is talk about the economic problem, and this economic problem has two sides. One of the sides is unlimited wants, and finite resources. So wants are unlimited and resources are finite. So there are so many wants that the resources are not enough to basically cover all the wants. Right, now, so what we're saying is that there are many human wants, but the resources to satisfy them are few. So you may be asking yourself, what are wants and maybe what are resources? I'm going to go through those two things at some point in this video just to tell you why we talk about that. Because we're going to talk about this a lot in economics, and this being the first video, I just want you to have a clear idea of what we mean by human wants and what we mean by resources. Right, so let's move on to something else. Right, so finite resources. What do we mean by finite resources and unlimited ones? So what we mean here is that the desire that humans have for products, the things they want, is a lot. They need a lot of things, and as they grow richer, the resources which are available to produce the products that can satisfy human wants are limited in supply. So we have a few resources to produce products that are necessary to satisfy very many human wants. Some of the resources may include things like workers, machinery, land. So these are limited in supply. Now let's find out what a resource means. A resource here means the factors used to produce goods and services. Factors used to produce goods and services. So anything that we're using to produce goods and services, we're going to call that a resource. So those would be resources. This is just examples here of some resources: workers, machinery, land. So those would be examples. We are going to find a better word for resources later on in economics, and you'll realize it's we're going to find out that in maybe the next chapter, I think. So in the next video. Right, let's talk about scarcity and choice. Because we have so many wants and we have limited resources, it brings about the concept of scarcity. So scarcity comes from the word scarce. It comes from that word there, scarce. And basically it means that resources are scarce. So they're not enough, insufficient to satisfy everybody's wants. And because of that, humans have to make choices. So you're going to have to make choices. And this is one of the most important human qualities that we have, is that we always make a choice because the resources we have are scarce. Think about it this way. You have $100. You want to choose between buying a pair of shoes, having lunch, going to the cinema, buying clothes. So whatever you decide to do with that $100 would be your choice. So if you decide to buy shoes and the shoes is $100, that would be your choice. So you have to make these choices. And when you make these choices, whatever you leave out, which we're going to learn in the next few chapters, is called opportunity cost, and it's the cost of the next best alternative that you forgo. So we're going to learn about opportunity cost later. But first, just realize it is because of scarcity that we make choices. And so choices are not only made by individuals, that is consumers. Don't worry, you'll find out what consumers means later. We also, choices are also made by workers, they're made by producers, they're made by governments. Basically, many people in the society, many stakeholders will make choices. All right, let's move on. Another thing, before we look at maybe economic goods and free goods, I can just use this space here to talk to you a little bit about human wants, what they are. So human wants, I can divide them into three categories. I can divide them into what is called necessities. I don't know if this is the correct spelling of necessities. Okay, yes. So we have that, necessities. And then we have what is called comforts. So this is another category. And then we have luxuries. So we have these maybe three types. Maybe there's more, but let's talk about these three. This is what you need to just basically survive. This may include food, shelter, clothing, medicine. So maybe some of those would fit here under necessities. And then we have what is called comforts. This one you need to make your life better. You can survive without them, but if you have them, they make your life better. So something like a sofa in your house, a car, maybe some comfortable clothes. Basically, clothes, any clothes would fall under necessities, but if you want to buy maybe some comfortable clothes, a hat, a cape, shoes, they'll be under comfort. And then luxuries, of course, these ones not really needed for to live a comfortable life, but some people want them. So instead of just having a car, now you want to have a Ferrari, or you want to have latest phone, okay, latest maybe iPhone or Samsung or whatever. So that would be a luxury. And so this is one of the categories. We can categorize the wants into these three levels, maybe more. Another thing we want to talk about is some characteristics of human wants. So how do these human wants behave? Okay, I hope it fits there. So one of the characteristics of human wants is that they are insatiable. So we cannot satisfy human wants completely. For example, if you have a need for food, you're going to buy lunch, and then later on you also need dinner. So you can never satisfy these wants. You have the need for a car, and then later on you need gas, and then later on you're going to need more gas, and then after some time you're going to need another car. So they're insatiable. Another thing is that they are complementary. So complementary would be what I want to mean here is that sometimes the human wants, they need each other. Like you buy a printer, now you need paper, you need ink, so they go together. So one want leads to wanting another thing. Maybe I can just look at one more characteristic that's important in economics, because there's so many characteristics of human wants. I can just say they are competitive also. And this basically means that the human wants you have will be competing against each other. Which one would you satisfy first? That would make the choice of concept. Other characteristics would include something that they are repetitive, so they keep on repeating. Some of them are habitual, they form a habit, like drinking coffee, smoking, maybe Coca-Cola. So some things are habitual, they form a habit. And some of them are addictive. And of course, don't forget that they are unlimited. There are so many. Right, having said that, let's move on to what we call economic goods and free goods. This is important to know in the first chapter. So economic goods, they require resources to produce. Meaning that economic goods are limited in supply. So as you can see, economic goods are limited in supply because they involve an opportunity cost. We'll talk about this in another video, in a later video. Most products including, for example, education and cars, are economic goods. Free goods, these are very rare products and they require no resources to make. For example, you can have sunshine or wind, a cool breeze from the sea. Those would be free goods. One of the things I just want you to remember when you're talking about free goods is that free goods are gifts of nature. So they are gifts of nature. So in most cases, when you think of a free good, it would be something from nature. Of course, some resources from nature are economic goods, but specifically the free goods will be gifts of nature. And free goods does not mean anything that you don't pay for. Sometimes you may not be paying, but it's not a free good because some resources have been used to produce it. So we look at that also later, and we'll be able to distinguish between economic goods and free goods. Just so you know remember, economic goods have no opportunity cost. They do not have an opportunity cost. Okay, so that's it. I'm going to take you through a few questions here to just think about whether you understood this chapter. Which of the following best describes the core economic problem as defined by economists? Okay, if you want to give it a go, you can try. The correct answer here is D. I'm going to go to question 2. Why is scarcity considered a problem that will likely to continue to exist in the future, even as economies grow wealthier? Remember, we talked about this, and the correct answer here is B, because as people's basic needs are met, their wants tend to grow and change. Okay, let's go on to question 3. In economic terms, what is the defining characteristic that distinguishes an economic good from a free good? This would be something to do with opportunity cost, and as you can see, the correct answer here would be A. Let's try question 4. Which of the following would be classified as a free good by an economist? Free good, of course, this one is where there's no opportunity cost, and most likely it's going to be a gift of nature. And question 4, the correct answer would be B. And then finally, 5, how does the scarcity of resources affect the decision-making process for producers such as farmers? You can give it a go. I'll give you 1 second. Right, and the correct answer here is C. So it forces them to make choices about how to use their limited land and labor. And finally, you want to remind yourself of these keywords. What are resources? What is scarcity? What is choice? What is the economic problem? What's an economic good? What's a free good? What's an opportunity cost? If you don't know what this is, don't worry. We're going to look at this in the next video. Thank you so much, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and you can share this video with other students so you can share. Thank you so much.